Morning, everybody. We're getting ready to get started here any second, so if everyone could have a seat, I would really appreciate it. And thanks for coming. Busy time for you. Oh yes, of course. Today is the craziest day of the busy time. Of course, yes.
Greetings. I'm Albert Nicoli from the Communications Department. A big welcome to the IMF Managing Director, European Union Commissioners, Honorable Ministers, and to all in attendance. Let us first invite the Managing Director and European Union officials to start the signing ceremony and take some photos.
A very good morning and happy Friday to all in this audience. Dear Minister Stanjura, Commissioner Urpilainen and Commissioner Gentiloni, all the Europeans here in the audience, you have the gratitude of the IMF on behalf of the poorest members we serve for this incredibly important support you provide us today. The world is faced with tremendously difficult economic conditions and a cost of living crisis that is particularly damaging for the people who face it from a weak position to begin with. The 100 million euros that the European Commission so generously on behalf of the European people is providing to the IMF would go into the subsidy account of our Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust. This is what makes it possible for the fund to step up support for our most vulnerable members. And it could not be timelier since so many countries and so many people are facing food and energy insecurity, primarily driven by a senseless war that is now taking place in Europe, Russia's war against Ukraine. I want to thank the Commission for swiftly taking a decision, but above all, for the timing of this decision, because the needs are urgent, and you are not only responding, but you are setting up a great example for others to follow. Thank you. Thank you. I will present my apologies. As you might know, we have the annual meeting plenary starting shortly. So I have to rush to make sure that I'm not late. You could be late. I cannot. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you to the Managing Director. We will now hear from European Union Commissioner for International Partnerships, Ms. Urpilainen.
Dear Ministers, Excellencies, colleagues, good morning. Russia's unprovoked war of aggression against Ukraine has really caused serious socio-economic consequences for the most vulnerable countries and their citizens. We are now facing a worsening global food security and debt situation. Countries being hit the hardest need affordable financing. And this is why the European Union is today contributing 100 million euros grants to the IMF's Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust. It will help provide concessional financing in sub-Saharan Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific. In the spirit of Team Europe, we count on our EU member states to further complement the major efforts they have already made in the on-lending of special drawing rights and grants to IMF trusts. And my fellow Commissioner, Paolo Gentiloni, will say more on this. So, dear colleagues, the European Union is committed to helping partners around the world. Our contribution today is part of our wider EU global food security response, which now reaches 7.7 billion euros until 2024. I look forward to continuing the work with the IMF and other multilateral partners to support the most vulnerable economies in these challenging times. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. And next up is European Union Commissioner for Economy, Mr. Gentiloni.
Thank you very much. Thank you and good morning. Very happy. I think, as Kristalina just said, that this is very timely, and I'm proud of what we are doing as a commission, and I have to recognize the commitment and the efforts that Jutta was doing for this initiative. We know that the economic shockwaves from the Russia's war are particularly hitting low-income countries. And so they are spurring demand for concessional loans from the IMF. So this brings us to the importance to reach the G20 global target of 100 billion in voluntary contributions coming from the special drawing rights to vulnerable countries. Where are we? We are now at a total of 80 billions already pledged, of which 23 billion by EU member states. And we hope that we can further build upon this effort also among the European member states. But then to help countries address the food crisis, the European Commission has also coordinated a strong EU position for the new IMF food stock window. And this support will require further subsidy resources. So with today's contribution of 100 million to the Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust, we are complementing and supporting the efforts of our member states. We don't have special drawing rights as European Commission. In terms of on-lending of special drawing rights, efforts that we encourage them and others, of course, to pursue. Again, I think this is a signal, a decision, timely and very important in these days of the annual meetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. The next speaker is Czech Minister of Finance, Mr. Stanjura.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the EU Council at this important event. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine has a negative impact on many low-income countries with high or even unsustainable debt levels. The financing needs of these countries will remain high for some time to come, and they need strong international support. The International Monetary Fund plays a key role for low-income countries because of the scale of their concessional financing, their role in raising funds, and their high-quality technical assistance. The fund's concessional financing has proved effective in addressing balance of payment crisis and in helping to restore economic growth through difficult but important reform programs. Concessional financing under the Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust is funded by donors, and a large part of these resources are provided by European countries. The Team Europe approach has helped raise significant resources to support our partner countries, which are facing multiple economic shocks. Our shared priorities require investments, and we use the Sustainable Development Goals as a guide. We hope the EU's contribution to the fund can help ease the effects of the war on global food insecurity and contribute to the goal of zero hunger in 2030. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. And we now close with the Minister of Finance of Niger, Mr. Jidou.
Dear European Commissioners, dear DMD, IMF DMD, dear Minister of Republic Czech, good morning, everybody. I'm deeply honored and delighted to be invited to this ceremony. And on behalf of the government of Niger, the President Bazoum Mohamed, I would like to thank the European Union and the IMF for all the support they are bringing to our countries, especially during the hard times, COVID, and now these difficult times of terrorism and food shortage. Coming to the topic of this convention, let me say that building resilience is close to my heart, coming from Niger, which is a landlocked Sahelian country which is facing daunting and tremendous challenges, among which population growth, but also insecurity and climate change shocks. Climate change are driving millions to the fringe of survival and contributing to the recurrence of food crisis. And I would like to thank the European Union for all the support they have been bringing over the years, pouring no less than 500 or 600 million of budget support to Niger, for also the IMF, for also helping in successfully implementing IMF programs under ECF arrangements, and also providing strong support at the onset of the pandemic of the COVID-19 with unprecedented speed and magnitude of financial assistance. I would like to also thank the European Union for the support they are bringing to the PRGT, which is going to provide more resources to our countries to face this challenge, specifically food insecurity over the last years. I would like also to thank the IMF for putting in place this RST, which is the Resilience and Sustainability Trust Fund, which is going also to help our countries resolve some of the issues related to food crisis, but also climate change. I would like to finish by saying that we have to work together, as we have done over the years, in order to accelerate the demographic transition. As I said, that population growth is a challenge. In order to respond to the infrastructure gap and the financing gap, my colleagues have said that concessional financing is being scarce and difficult to access, but also to mobilize more resources in order to implement sound policies, to implement a huge project in order to unlock the potential of growth, job creation, and but also to respond to the financial crisis and the food insecurity. Of course, the Russian war in Ukraine is amplifying this insecurity and the food shocks, and we really welcome the support that our partners, the European Union, the IMF, and other partners are bringing to help Niger and other Sahelian countries to face these shocks. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. And once again to the Managing Director, Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Okamura, and to all our other speakers today. On behalf of the IMF, we welcome and congratulate everybody involved in this milestone today. So please stay on your seats for a moment.